will not survive if pollinators become extinct. As Albert Einstein said in 1941, if you remove the bee from this earth, you may as well remove 100,000 plants. That is 100,000 different types of plants that will no longer be on this earth. Different types of pollinators include the bee and wasp. Here's a picture of a bee. Bees are the best pollinators because they have so much fur on their bodies for the pollen to stick to. Other pollinators include ants, some types of flies, butterflies, and moths. Beetles are also types of pollinators. Here's a picture of a beetle on a flower. Pollinators are so important because they help in the reproduction of plants that are responsible for feeding humans and wildlife. Some of the foods that we would lose if we lost pollinators may surprise you or even scare you. Some of these foods include but are not limited to kiwi fruit, potatoes, onions, different types of nuts, broccoli, cabbage, different types of peppers, carrots, oranges, apples, strawberries. The list goes on, and literally, what would we eat? We would not survive if pollinators become extinct. An article on BBC states that bees alone are responsible for $30 billion. I did not say million, I said $1 billion worth of crops. That is a lot of food. Again, if pollinators are not here to restore the food supply, the animals will die, and we will also not survive because the food chain will be completely disrupted. So, you're probably wondering, why are pollinators disappearing? Most pollinators survive by eating off of flowers and weeds. Bees get their food from flower nectar, and butterflies and moths get most of their food as caterpillars by eating milkweed. What's happening is the farmers are plowing down these flowers, and they're replacing them with wheat and cornfields. Bees and butterflies can't eat wheat and cornfields. Another thing that's happening is they're using pesticides and fungicides, and these are killing the bees and butterflies. But we are literally starving these bees and butterflies to death by removing their flowers. There's also a mite that attaches itself to the bee pollinator, and when it bites the bee, it spreads a deadly disease that kills these pollinators. Here's a picture of the mite on the back of the bee. There may be a way that normal people like you and I can actually save the bee and save humankind from starvation. We can help by not using pesticides. If you feel you absolutely have to use pesticides, use them at dusk when the bees are not flying around. Try not to kill the bees. And here's an interesting fact. Bees actually only have stingers if they're females. That's pretty interesting. Also, the best part, plant some flowers. There's a website called thegardenhelper.com. You can go on that website. It tells you about the different kinds of plants that pollinators like to eat. It tells you the color, size of the plant, where the plants are best to be planted, where they grow best. Again, that is thegardenhelper.com. So I've explained to you what pollinators do, how very important they are to our survival, why they're endangered, and how you and I may be able to help keep them and us from becoming extinct. Now, hopefully you'll go out and plant some flowers and maybe even do a little research yourself on what you could do to help save the pollinators. Thank you.
Woo!